Hi, and welcome to video 1. We are starting a new unit called Quadratic Equations. We've been working a bunch with quadratic expressions, factoring them and adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Now we're learning how to graph and solve quadratic equations. So in this video, we're looking at parabola features, including the axis of symmetry, the vertex, x-intercepts and roots, and the y-intercept. And then we're looking at order of operations with quadratic functions and doing a quick review of X puzzles. So first, we are learning how to graph things like this. This is a quadratic equation. Their graphs look like this U-shaped curve. They're called parabolas. So basically, this first section is looking at the features of parabolas. You will notice that parabolas are symmetric. They have like a line that goes down the middle. That is called the axis of symmetry. It's what cuts our graph in half. And we know that vertical lines have an equation x equals a number. So the axis of symmetry for both of these graphs will be x equals and then whatever number it is going through. So this vertical line is going through the x value of -2. So the axis of symmetry is x equals -2. And in graph B, it's going through an x value of 3, so x equals 3 is the equation for the axis of symmetry. The vertex is just that point where the graph turns around, so either that bottom point or that top point. The vertex of graph A, we just need the ordered pair, so the ordered pair is -2, -5. And since it's on the bottom of the parabola, it's called a minimum. In graph B, the vertex is the ordered pair 3, 4. And since it's on the top of the parabola, it's called a maximum. Pretty intuitive. The domain and range for these graphs, remember domain means the x values. So we're looking for which x values does this graph cover? Well, it never stops. It goes left forever and it goes to the right forever. So, let's see. The domain is all real numbers. So it goes left forever and it goes right forever. It never stops. The range, it has a lowest value here for graph A. The lowest value is when y equals -5. So we know that y needs to be greater than or equal to -5. For graph B here, again, it's going to be all real numbers for the domain because any x values work. So the domain, again, is all real numbers. And the range, this time we have a highest y value, and that y value is 4. So we know that y needs to be less than or equal to 4. X-intercepts, we've talked about these before in class. It's where the graph crosses the x-axis. Just so you know, another word for x-intercepts is roots, and you're going to be seeing that in your homework, and these mean the same thing. Roots and x-intercepts, same thing. So the roots or the x-intercepts, ooh, this graph is really tricky to find them. In your homework, you won't have any ones where you need to estimate. This has like decimal x-intercepts, but I'm going to estimate that to be -2.2, let's say. So that's the x value and the y value is 0. We're going to write these as ordered pairs. And then for the next one, I'm going to estimate it to be 0.2, 0. All right. And then for graph B, these ones you don't have to estimate because they come out nice and clean. We have x-intercepts of 1, 0, and what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. So those are our x-intercepts, also known as roots. And then the last thing on this sheet is y-intercepts. And again, we know what those are. It's where the graph crosses the y-axis. So we just have to look up here on our graph. This crosses the y-axis at a y value of -1. So I'm going to write this up top. Our y-intercept on this one would be the ordered pair 0, -1. and our y-intercept on graph B would be here, which looks to be the point 0, -5. So those are the key features of a quadratic graph. One more thing to note is if the arrows go up on a parabola, we say that it opens up. And if the arrows go down, we say that this opens down. You'll hear me saying that from time to time. So those are the features of a parabola. One more type of problem that you're going to be seeing in your online homework is just kind of an order of operations problem. So this is what the problems will look like. This one is called Quadratic Functions Level 1, and the directions say determine the value of y if x is -3. So all that's asking you to do is, here's our equation. We're going to plug in -3 for x. And remember, anytime you plug in a negative number, use parentheses. Okay, so if we plug in -3 for x, there's our step plugging it in. And then you do have to remember order of operations. Exponents come before subtraction, so we need to do the exponent first. So -3 squared is +9, and then -4 is 5. So the value of y is 5. That is what you type in the box on your online homework. There's also a level 2 of the same type of problem. It's the same idea, just you have to remember a different part of the order of operations. So we're plugging in -8 for x. So y equals -8 plus 4 squared. When we look at order of operations, parentheses comes before exponents. So first we have to simplify inside the parentheses. So that's -4. And then we square it, so we get 16. So our answer is 16. Okay, and then the very last type of problem you'll see in your homework is just a review of X puzzles. We've done these a bunch before. Again, you're looking for two numbers that multiply to get the top number and add to get the bottom number. So factors of -30 that add up to -1 are -6 and 5. That's it. So now you're ready to go do homework 1 on delta math. There's a few problems of each of the types that we've seen in this video. Good luck!